Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Four Ends the Fiance.
I'm so happy to be doing this again.
Yeah, me too.
Like, my heart is like hella full right now.
Overjoyed.
Overjoyed. I'm stupendously happy right now.
Yeah, I have a bit of a cold, but
It's
I'm
okay.
soldiering through.
There ain't no problem. But I'm drinking today. Do you know, I actually wasn't going to drink. And I did say, because basically we had a girls' weekend last weekend. And I was like to myself, okay, I'm not going to drink for a while because I did enough, right? However, I feel like for the purposes of the listeners, it wouldn't be the same if I weren't drinking. And so I am putting myself at risk just to, like my life, your entertainment, So today I'm drinking rum and Coke.
I do not love you lots that much, so I'm sticking to the water. Because we actually drank, the amount of alcohol that was consumed was way, way, way too much.
Yeah, it was actually a bit wild, actually. It's good for recycling, though.
Yeah, when you think about it, it was a lot.
It was the punch. It was the punch that really did it.
It was the punch.
And the Prosecco.
Drinking, yeah.
The punch was good, though.
It was a good weekend.
It really was. It was a great weekend.
Well, back to reality.
Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Okay, guys, so today, can you hear that sound? I don't know what the sound is, but if you can hear it, apologies. So today we are doing a documentary called The Virtual Reality Virgin. And you can find it on YouTube, although I wouldn't bother looking. Do you know, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm kind of tired of these YouTube documentaries. Like I know Netflix can be very, very annoying, but like I miss the visuals of a Netflix. I miss the background of the talking heads. I miss it. I do.
Yeah. I agree. I think YouTube is where documentaries go to die.
Oh, except the BBC Africa Eye ones. Those ones always seem to be good.
Oh yeah, those are good. Those are good. So yeah, it's no surprise that they're kind of shit.
Yeah, this one was it falls in that category, but it's still an interesting topic, which I think would be fun for us to discuss. We love a bit of sex here and there. We love a bit of knowledge and whatnot. But I did like halfway through this documentary I was kind of like, oh, I really thought this was going to be more about sex than it was. It was a lot to do with virtual reality, but then the documentary was like, oh bitch, you thought, and then it became a lot about sex, which is probably what we will mostly discuss. So that was the crime initially. The crime for today was that it wasn't really about sex, but then it kind of was. So like, yeah,
I thought the crime were the leather trousers and the at the end. But...
Was the crime not his name, being Tiger? But okay. Yeah. Tiger Drew Honey is his name. But you know what? I don't love that.
That is a very porn star name.
It's a very, but his parents were his parents were in the porn industry. I wouldn't say they're porn stars. We don't know that to be true. And also,
they were adult film stars.
Oh, I thought they were just involved in the industry. I didn't know they were actually. Were they? Oh, well, then that all makes sense. Then, in fact, it's even on brand.
Yeah, he is very on brand, but
yeah. Go on, Tiger. Yeah, I try not to like get on to people about their names because like most of the time they didn't choose the name, and so you don't really have any say.
The concept of a name is very weird because it's actually not the name you want; it's the name your parents.
You're just given.
Yeah, so you might not even like your name, but I think we all grow to like. I think we're. I don't know. We're socialized to like our names.
Yeah, I think you just get used to it.
Because I've never thought like, oh, like what else would I be called?
Oh, I didn't like my name for ages because no one could say it. I hated it. I hated it, and I would wish that my name was like, I don't know, Emily or literally or something like that, so that I could the substitute teachers could just say my name.
I know.
But but now I love it. I actually love it now. I'm just like, behave. Right, okay, so this documentary opens up in St Albans, and for those who don't know, St Albans is like a town in England, like the northwest of London-esque, but not really. It's like not London, but like they would probably say, yeah, I'm from London, for those who don't know, because then it's like the closest thing.
Silly.
Yeah. So the presenter we've mentioned, his name is Tiger Drew Honey, and he is attending a virtual reality boot camp. Pew, pew, pew. It's so funny because in all my notes I put VR for virtual reality.
Same.
But in ophthalmology, VR is vitreoretinal, and so in my head I keep saying vitreoretinal, and that makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, I just feel the optoms out there listening. Woohoo! So the company. Oh, so yes, I'm so sorry. This boot camp that he's at, the company that are running this boot camp, they basically work on letting you use your iPhone in a VR headset. So like instead of just having a VR headset, you can put. I mean, I think Samsung does this as well. Like you put your iPhone into this like little headset thing, and then you can like basically play virtual reality games on it. Yeah, so he's using the headset, and then like we see him in real life, like his actual actions and what he's doing, and we also see his point of view, so like what he's seeing. And like virtual reality is so mad to me because it's like, how does it even work? Like it's so crazy because you are really like I used to live with someone who had like a virtual reality, like she was like a proper gamer, and she had like bare of this stuff, yeah. And then one time she's like, oh, do you want to try it? When I say yeah, you really feel like you're not even in the room. Like, you know, in those TV shows, they're like, yeah, back in the room. Like you literally have to come back in the room because it feels like you're somewhere else. Yeah, and like you're doing the thing, it's like whoosh, whoosh, and you're like hitting, trying to like, basically you feel like you're there. It's so crazy.
I feel like this is so dangerous and people become disconnected from reality.
I think especially adding the whole sex element, which we're going to get into, makes it very, very difficult. But I do think that like even in terms of like mental health issues, like people who suffer from depression or anxiety and stuff like that, yeah, who need an escape. Like one might argue that alcohol is an escape, weed is an escape, but they are like socially acceptable escapes to have. Virtual reality, I'm just in my room, I put on my headset, I forget all my problems and I go. It's the same as people who just love to sleep. Like you sleep, you have no problems, you wake up, problems there.
Not naming any
names. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's fun. It really does.
Yeah. I mean, it looks fun, but I can just imagine how people get caught like down the rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole. And I think when you start linking it to sex and relationships, then it gets really like, ooh, it's a bit sticky still. No pun intended. So yeah, so he does say that he wishes he could stay in that virtual reality world because everything is fine there. Yeah. And so the documentary now sort of pivots to wider uses of virtual reality, such as social networking. So this one I thought was a bit stupid because it was like, oh, being able to meet up with your friends, like a virtual phone call, but you all have kind of like avatars. So in the thing, yeah, in the documentary, it's like,
but you travel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's like me having an avatar, and then like Florence having an avatar, and then like we decide to go to Spain virtually, and then we're in Spain, and we're like, oh, well, hey, but then we would just go to Spain. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's very ridiculous.
I mean, I guess. But you can't just feel like every second.
I mean, but you wouldn't be in Spain because it's virtual reality.
You're the one that said when you entered, you were in a whole new world.
Jasmine, yeah, I was a whole new world. Yeah, don't you dare close your eyes. But yeah, it wasn't the same. Like, it's not the same as going on holiday. And also, the avatars just looked very shit. Like, I think that if the avatars were, and I suppose they'll get there one day, if the avatars were more, believable, realistic, perhaps I would really think that I was with you sitting on a beach sipping on.
They look like Tomb Raider, but like the first version.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I didn't really get it. And it's like, I'll just FaceTime you. What is the meaning of this?
But then we won't be in Espanol.
Okay. So now we get to the sex. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about you.
Come on. Let's talk about all the good things. What the lyrics?
I don't know. Moving swiftly on.
So we meet this guy who has created a virtual reality game revolving around sex. And this guy who's created such a game looks exactly the way that you think that he looks. He looks exactly, whatever you're imagining, that is what he looks like.
That's how he looks.
That's literally how he looks. And he explains the premise of the game.
This is a virtual online dating game. It's more of a sexual game. You can have sex, you can create relationships, you can actually marry in the game.
You can have sex, you can get married, you can create relationships, like basically stuff that ordinarily you would need to do in real life. Okay? And he tells us about his character, whose name is D'Angelo. And D'Angelo, for instance, they can't see your face.
I'm sorry, the eye roll.
D'Angelo works in a nightclub, and so not in real life, in the game. So in the game, his name is D'Angelo, and in the game, he works in a nightclub. Very power-esque, okay? So he uses this game. He says...
He's a bartender.
Yeah.
It's just like when Dwight created a virtual reality where he was still an assistant.
He was the exact same assistant to the regional manager.
And it's like, so even in your wildest fantasies, like
that's what you'd be.
A bartender.
But this is better. Okay, then imagine what he is now. If bartender is the goal. Listen, he's happy. Or maybe he's not, but maybe he's like a CEO and he's like really stressed and he just wants a job where he can just make drinks, be happy, hit on girls. I'm trying, man. So he uses this game. He says 5 days a week, and then he swiftly admits to 7 days a week. And he says he only uses it 3 hours a day, but it used to be 7 or something like that.
Like my vagina has like somehow shriveled up and gone.
Yeah, I don't have one anymore. Yeah, I don't even have one.
Nothing.
Yeah, there. I have nothing. Yeah,
I'm like a Barbie.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Basically, that's what this is. This is the opposite of WAP. So yeah, he said he was on there before 7 hours a day, but that was when there was a girl that he liked that was also playing the game. Okay, so Tiger,
girl, quote unquote.
Yeah, no, but it's it's true. Well, a girl character.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, who's to say? Like,
who's on the other end?
Like an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, like, but it doesn't matter because it's all about the imagination and what you're led to believe. Do you know? Imagine if there was an actual girl on the other end thinking that D'Angelo is really a bartender and looks.
No, obviously not. Yeah. It's just I find it funny how like. Yeah, anyways, we'll get into it.
Yeah, sure will. So Tiger asks D'Angelo, quote unquote, if he masturbates in real life when he's having virtual reality sex with the players in this game. And this guy goes,
yeah, I will admit it. First time, yes, it was just because I had a Willy who was standing.
A Willy who was standing.
And therein lies the essence of male sexuality. I don't think we could sum it up any better. There's a lot of sexual things they do with a lot of people that don't make sense just because they're really standing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that really is it. Yeah.
And that episode over.
Niggas ain't nothing but hoes and tricks.
Niggas ain't nothing but standing willies. So we are now at a more immersive universe. So what we were just talking about was this game, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was kind of like, yeah, he was having like virtual reality sex with the players, but not really. It was like Sims. Do you know what I mean? It's like making the Sims have sex, and that's not
essentially
really
like wanking to Sims.
Yeah, which is really strange because it's like, what are you even? I mean, the imagination is a wonderful thing, clearly, because it's just kind of like how sway. So yeah, now we're at a more immersive universe. I should say in a more immersive universe. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Enter within. So Tiger's at a strip club. They're having an orgy, and this is all via a VR headset. So you meet the creator of this universe, and he tells us that he's telling us about the sexual singularity.
There's a whole concept which is called the sexual singularity. The sexual singularity is the merger of virtual reality, man and machine. There's so many benefits really to having virtual relationships that, you eliminate diseases, you eliminate unwanted pregnancy, you have partners of your choice. I believe that people really are going to prefer relationships online and sexuality online.
He says it's a whole new concept, like the merging of VR, man and machine, how there's loads of benefits to it. So it eliminates diseases, unwanted pregnancies. You can basically have the partner of your choice, which in itself is very like, okay. I mean, okay. Like all of these benefits are like the benefits of just masturbation. Like you're not going to get diseases if you masturbate. You're not going to have unwanted pregnancies if you masturbate. Or just having safe
sex.
Or you can just have, in terms of the partners of your choice, you can just, find people that want to have sex with you and then also have sex with them. And if they don't want to have sex with you, then, you're not their choice, in which case then, abort. Yeah, literally. So, yeah, I mean, so that in itself was a bit weird. But Tiger also asks, where do we draw the line vis-a-vis cheating? So, like, virtual reality sex, is it cheating? Because technically, no dick has been sucked, no vagine has been penetrated. But at the same time, I do think that, like, even when people have
connection,
right? Oh my God, sexual attraction. You had a sexual attraction with her, and you've not come in here and told me that. You're acting like a saint, yeah, over in Casa, yeah.
Faye. If
I speak. Anyway, Teddy's lost, so me too. What am I doing defensively? Babylon. What was I even saying? Yeah, I think that, people emotionally cheat. And that's Tina's cheating.
Yeah.
So maybe you can be like, he virtually cheated. I don't know. I just think it's a bit strange.
Yeah, I know. In terms of virtual sex, it's definitely cheating in my eyes. I think any sort of sexual connection is cheating.
What about sexual attraction?
It's cheating.
So you think that Teddy cheated on Faye?
No, I was joking. Like, what the hell? Like, do you think that like you're
the only person
that are exclusive? Like, literally, like, come on, like, no.
I said we all thought Clarice was buff, so.
But sexual conversations and all this virtual sex.
Yeah, it's a lot. I feel like with virtual sex as well, it's like you're really going out of your way to
it's really you're forcing all this money on all this equipment.
Oh, I do not equipment. Oh, let them take your Wi-Fi now. Then what happens? Let your battery die now. Anyways, you can say the same with the vibrator. So we keep it pushing. So now we're in Amsterdam. Of course, would it be a sex doc if we didn't get to Amsterdam? But
this one is just doing free holiday. Like, literally, he just goes from country to country. He says one line to somebody, and that's it.
I don't know what the budget of this thing was, but I don't understand why it was as high as it was, because he was really all over the shop.
He was traveling.
Wasn't he in like LA at some point?
Yeah, next after Dam.
Yeah, okay, let's do Dam. So, also, we're still going to Dam for your hen do.
That's the plan.
So I can learn how to smoke by then. We meet someone in Amsterdam who has created a two-way sex toy. And this I thought was quite interesting because I literally was thinking that. I was like, in my notes it says, now, as somebody in a long distance relationship, would you be on this? And your answer is yes.
On it like Sonic.
Like a car bonnet. Yeah, I do think that maybe this is hypocritical, but like this makes a lot of sense to me because it's like you and I are together, we're in a relationship.
Yeah.
We can't do the sexy times in the way that we'd be able to do if we were in person. Mm-hmm. And so this is a way for us to be able to connect. Even if you're not in a long distance relationship, maybe, you've gone away on a business trip and your partner's back home, or maybe, he's in one room and he's in the other room or whatever.
It's sexy.
Yeah, maybe you just want to switch it up a little bit. Maybe you just want to, do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of makes sense to me.
This is not cheating because it's with your partner.
Right.
Even if you and your partner decide to go to a virtual reality world and fuck each other's brains out, that's fine. It's the doing it with other people that's a problem.
And so speaking of other people, the main use of this two-way sexy time toy is in the porn industry. So virtual pornography. So you would have the VR headset on and you'd have the sex toy. So the sex toy would mimic whatever the porn star's doing. And so, I mean, we get into this later, but all of these toys are like geared towards men. So like the porns, I mean, the two-way thing's kind of like a fleshlight kind of thing. So basically somewhere to put your peen. And then in the goggles, the virtual reality thing you're looking at is basically a woman doing whatever it is that would make you excited.
They do have like the female counterpart. So for a long distance couple, the guy would have like this thing that looks like a glove, not glove, but like a cock glove. I don't know what it was. And then
you don't know.
And then the woman would have like a dildo, and so like as the cock glove thing is like contracting and relaxing, he's like thrusting, and then the dildo is mimicking like his thrust,
what he's doing. Yeah, but then that's in the couples, like for the majority of it, it's in the porn. But that's, I mean, it seems like a lot of work. I know I'm quite lazy. I'll say, well, I'm gonna have to book a flight because I don't know about all this. But yeah, I think it's clever. I think it's dangerous still, but I do think it's clever.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, we get on a plane and we go to Los Angeles, the City of Angels. And I literally put the budget was big for this doc, huh? And their parents probably have money if they're doing up porn. Yeah. So of course we find ourselves in a sex doll factory. Of course.
And of course we do. We've been to this one before.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that guy looks familiar.
Very. I think we watched this documentary, but we didn't cover it. It was in my house one time when I had like a movie night. It was
this documentary?
Yeah, no,
it's covered... whatever he was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looked very familiar. You can tell this is just his thing. Like, this is just his bag.
Anytime they say sex dolls, he's there.
He said, So yeah, everything is customizable. They range from $5,000 to $7,000. The guy makes this comment, about how the faces are replaceable. So if you get tired of looking at one face, you can switch it out with another. And it's just like, I mean, I was going to say these are people, but they're actually not people. But the mindset can carry over to people.
Human interaction, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what's if it were possible to kind of like separate the two and keep them separate, but I don't think that's possible. Because you're used to having sex with this doll who do any and everything that you needed to do because, of course, you were doing it for them. And then for you to now interact with another, even people just watching porn sometimes can mess up their minds and their thinking and like, you know, how they have sexual relations with like actual people. Imagine like a doll. Yeah.
It would be Hickey Hagger.
Yeah.
And I know people try to say like, oh, women have their own sex toys. I'm sorry, but like, if I ever like, I mean, I probably will never be in this situation, but if I ever walked into a man's room and I saw this, I'm sorry, but it's curtains. It's just something I can't look past.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, and I understand the whole sentiment of like, oh, do what you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. That's absolutely fine. As for me in my house,
it's just not to know.
We will serve the Lord. No, I can't imagine like, yeah, I don't know. I just can't. I just think it was like, for me, like it's different finding like a fleshlight and finding like a whole body, like a whole body.
And what if like her body's like completely opposite to yours?
It might be. Some guys just like the variety, you know. Okay. Some people's type is vagina. You know that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I said that earlier on. Like, men, if it's standing,
it's sticking. So yeah, this guy's been selling sex dolls for 20 years and he wants to take it to a new VR level. Now, like as a businessman or as somebody moving with the times, like this makes a lot of sense. Like this has been your bread and butter, sex dolls. Why would you not incorporate this? Like speaking like, you know, objectively, if that's the word I'm thinking, then it makes sense why you'd want to kind of like, you know, incorporate it, you know, kind of like move with the times. You don't want to get left behind.
Yeah. Not left behind, child.
Not left behind.
After the trumpets.
Oh God. But yeah, this new level that he speaks of is kind of like meaning the dolls can talk to you, they can blink, they can move. So basically, they're robots. This is very terrifying to me because it's like they're not even. I don't know. Maybe it'd be even more scary if they were like more human-like. But they just seem strange. That I don't know how that turns you on. And the robot is like, blink. I want to have sex with you now. And that's how she sounds.
For you.
Literally, that's how she sounds. So
the problem with these people is they haven't watched iRobot. That's the biggest problem
they probably did, and they got horny thinking, oh, imagine if this was... Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched it.
No, but I think this is way too much for me. Like, I mean, I said the sex doll was way too much, but this is way too much.
The sex robot, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not. It's too much. It's too
much. It's a lot. It's a lot. So they do speak about the longevity of sex work and whether sex dolls and virtual reality would replace sex work, which is a scary thought anyway. But the guy makes a good point saying that like people who have, and we've made this point as well regarding sex dolls in the past, people who have horrific sexual urges or desires can use dolls instead of sex workers or actual people. Yeah. I literally put like, I don't think it's that simple because these kind of people that like say the kind of person who wants to inflict pain on somebody sexually, wants to inflict pain on somebody. Do you know what I mean? They want that feedback of like, oh, I'm in pain. I don't want this. They want that. An adult is not going to give you that. And even if they program it to give you that, which is really, really strange, then like still, I just don't feel like somebody with that urge or that desire is going to be satisfied by doing whatever they want to do to a doll.
That just takes it.
Yeah, I think it might just like maybe prolong their needs to,
but it will definitely develop.
So I don't know, and also like not everybody with horrific urges can afford a $5,000 sex doll.
Do you know
what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I just.
It's a no from me, dog.
Yeah, it's just really a lot, this documentary. So now it's drawing to a close, guys. This is going to be a really short episode because the doc was really short, but we're back, baby. So the doc is drawing to a close, but not before we see a virtual sex stimulator. I'm going to describe it to you guys because I really want you to really picture what it is that we endured. So imagine like a flashlight, if you don't know what a flashlight is. A flashlight that's like hollowed out with a vagina type thing thing. Basically, the fleshlight is like a vagina. Cool. So then imagine now that fleshlight has a robotic arm holding it and moving it around. So then the robotic arm is like on the table. It's kind of like a clamp. So like, and then the fleshlight that's facing down towards the penile region. Okay. Now imagine that the robot arm is like moving around in up and down, all round and round, depending on what sis is doing, motion, in accordance with the woman on the VR goggle headset thing. So the woman's, say for example, the woman's like moving up and down, or she's like riding the so-called man. The robot controlled fleshlight thing moves in the same way, and so the guy inserts his member into the fleshlight, and then uses the headset to see the woman. So then it's like the way that she's moving, he's feeling it.
Yeah.
Thanks
and we had
to
the displeasure of seeing it in action.
We saw it in action. Tiger tries it. He tries it, yeah. And he does say, you know, it's minimal sensation. He'd rather just masturbate.
Yeah, but
he
then
feels
he was
nothing.
sweating buckets. So
yeah, I do think that he was. Yeah, I do think that he was going to say that because he didn't want it to seem as though like, oh yeah, I'm really getting turned on by this robotic arm.
I think he came.
Do you think? I don't think so. You know.
Why was he sweating?
Because he was nervous that he would come.
I think he came.
Anyway, I don't know. I just thought it was just a bit strange. And in conclusion, this whole documentary has the makings of an episode of Black Mirror. It actually was like that episode of Black Mirror. Do you know the one with the two guys, the two black guys, the two friends?
Yeah, they had sex, yeah.
Yeah, they had sex like on the screen when they were playing the video game. It was very weird. But it's kind of like that, essentially. Yeah. Listen, Black Mirror is not too far off, you know, and that's what's scary about it.
That's what's so scary about that show. Like, it's not far off the reality of what
even that episode with the likes, like your rating in like your ranking in the world, in society, was based on like the amount of likes and stuff you got. Listen, we're not far off. Yeah, we're really not. We're there.
Yeah,
we're literally there.
So that was the Virtual Reality Virgin. I wouldn't recommend watching. We've literally told you everything. There's nothing more to see. Unless you like to torture yourself, then go ahead.
Yeah, then go ahead. Well, unless you want to see what the flashlight, robotic arm thing looked like. But I think I described it quite well, actually. I think I did a great job describing that.
Fantastic scenes.
Incredible scenes. But yeah, what are we doing next? Pray Away, which I've not watched, but I watched the trailer. And it seems like it's really good. It's a Netflix documentary, so we know that it's going to be well shot at the very least. I think it'll be quite good because it's about well, you'll have to wait for the trailer for that, won't you?
You'll have to wait.
Wink, 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 wink.
Eager beaver.
But yeah, so that episode will be out next week, guys. We are back. We took some time away because we did. Thank you to everyone who's like reached out and stuff, and like who missed our episodes and stuff. Like we obviously missed you too. But yeah, we're back. So yeah, Pray Away will be out next week. So if you want to watch it in advance, then you sure can. It's on Netflix. I think I said that already. Yep. Yeah. In the meantime, between time, you can find us on social media at 2girls1doc, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok with an _, and YouTube with just 2girls1doc. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at 4ends with 2 underscores and Instagram 4ends with 2 underscores.
Yeah, both you 2 underscores on both of them now, aren't you?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, sure did.
You can also find me on my other podcast, Character Replay.
All right, boys and girls, we will see you next week.
Later. I'm going to load up on
Nightness. Oh yeah, you need to get better. You do.
Yeah.
Have you got a bonnet key?
No.
You need to listen. Okay, I'm gonna bring you a bonnet key when you come. I'll give you a bonnet key.
Thank you so very much.
You are so
welcome.
Have
you stopped recording?
No. Have you?
Okay, I haven't. No.
Look at us.
Don't finish without me.
Virtual reality sex.
Ow. Bye.
Bye.
I was active in the gay community for 13 years.
I was in it for 6 years, then struggled for 5 years before finding true freedom.
It was 13 years for me.
4 for me. We both walked away from it.
I personally came out of the homosexual lifestyle.
And we're just saying that if you want to change, there is a way to do it.
I spent a lot of time thinking, how did I believe that?
We were the leaders of the ex-gay movement.
we believed that something must have happened to make you gay.
Parents are learning about a program called Exodus, which claims to convert gays.
We were promoting an idealized version of life. Gay people could be saved.
I became a figurehead for this movement. My role was to get the message out. Homosexuality was changeable. I ached to be loved and to love a man.
I went to my first Exodus conference when I was 17 years old. I remember feeling like this is the path to be good.
It was awful pseudo-psychology.
I started having panic attacks, the same-sex attractions. Those never went away.
We had guys that attempted suicide because they felt guilty that they couldn't change.
I'm looking at you. How does it feel to be broken as ever beaten?
The voice inside me said, how could you do that to your own people?
There are new people taking up the torch.
I live transgender, and I left everything, follow the Lord.
Jesus, take this away from me.
There's so much shame.
We're killing ourselves by not embracing who God created us to be.
Lord, we want you back. I believe that something is being birthed out of you today. In Jesus' name, we thank you, Father. In Jesus' name.
Are you straight now? You're not a gay person who fights with yourself every day.
Right.